Introduction. Mastery represents the pinnacle of human potential, a state where individuals gain exceptional control over reality, others, and themselves. This power, often glimpsed in moments of intense focus or crisis, is not a mysterious gift reserved for a few, but a process accessible to everyone. It emerges when people move beyond their internal world of dreams and distractions to connect deeply with the external world. In such moments, the mind becomes highly focused, sparking creative ideas that seem to arise spontaneously, as if from the unconscious. People wielding this power influence others effortlessly, not through force, but through a heightened presence that commands respect. Unlike fleeting bursts of creativity, mastery is a sustained way of life for those who dedicate themselves to a field, transforming their perception of the world. This process unfolds in three distinct phases. The first, apprenticeship, involves learning the basics of a field as an outsider, absorbing rules and foundational knowledge. The second, the creative active phase, comes with practice and immersion, allowing individuals to understand the inner workings of their field and experiment creatively. The third phase, mastery, is marked by such deep knowledge and focus that individuals see the entire picture with clarity, accessing the essence of their subject. This level of understanding enables rapid, intuitive decisions and groundbreaking innovations, as seen in the works of historical figures like Leonardo da Vinci or Charles Darwin, whose art and science captured profound truths about reality. The human brain, shaped by 6 million years of evolution, is designed to achieve this state. Early human ancestors, physically weak compared to predators, survived through mental adaptability. Their survival depended on two key traits: a sophisticated visual system and advanced social intelligence. Living in treetop environments, primates developed keen eye muscle coordination and stereoscopic vision, which early humans adapted for the savanna. This allowed them to spot dangers or resources from afar and focus intensely on details, such as footprints or tool-making materials. Unlike animals locked in the present, humans learned to detach from immediate surroundings, noticing patterns and planning ahead. This ability to think deeply marked a turning point in evolution, creating a conscious, reasoning mind. Socially, early humans relied on group cohesion to survive, fostering complex interactions that honed their ability to read subtle cues. The discovery of mirror neurons, which fire when observing others' actions, explains how humans can think inside others' minds, anticipating intentions. This skill extended to tool-making and hunting, where experts felt at one with their tools or prey after years of practice. Such intuitive understanding, developed pre-verbally, allowed rapid decision-making in complex environments. Time played a crucial role. The longer humans observed and practiced, the deeper their connection to reality, reversing the animal's enslavement to time's decay. Mastery builds on this evolutionary foundation. By focusing deeply over time, individuals align with the brain's natural grain, enhancing intelligence and skill. Conversely, seeking shortcuts or relying on natural talent disrupts this process, leading to weakness and disconnection. The brain's plasticity allows anyone to cultivate mastery by choosing to engage deeply with their field, adapting to modern challenges as their ancestors did to survival threats. Historically, only a few achieved mastery due to social barriers like class or gender, which limited access to knowledge. Today, these barriers have largely dissolved, and information is widely available, making mastery more attainable. Yet, a cultural obstacle persists: the modern tendency toward passivity. Overwhelmed by global complexities, many retreat into minimal effort, blaming genetics or fate for their limitations. This mindset romanticizes quick fixes and denigrates discipline, viewing mastery as outdated or oppressive. Such passivity erodes desire and disconnects people from their creative potential, leading to frustration and unfulfillment. To counter this, individuals must see mastery as essential for addressing modern problems, from environmental crises to social stagnation. By actively shaping their mental landscape through effort, they can forge a powerful mind, as neuroscience shows the brain's patterns are shaped by actions, not just genes. Pursuing mastery is a transformative journey, moving from apprenticeship to creative exploration to intuitive command. Each step sheds old perspectives, initiating individuals into higher levels of understanding and influence. This path begins with discovering one's life's task, a unique calling rooted in innate inclinations. Through apprenticeship, individuals learn observation, skill acquisition, and experimentation, guided by mentors and social intelligence. The creative active phase unleashes originality, while mastery fuses intuition with reason, enabling a profound connection to reality. This process, grounded in human evolution, empowers individuals to shape their destiny and contribute to humanity's progress. Chapter 1. Discover your calling. The life's task. Robert Greene argues that every person is born with a distinct genetic makeup, shaped by billions of years of evolution, which manifests as specific interests, tendencies, and potential strengths. This uniqueness is not random, but a guiding force, an inner voice that, if followed, leads to a fulfilling and powerful life. The life's task is not about achieving fame or wealth, but about connecting to this internal compass, which directs individuals toward their most authentic contributions to the world. Mastery, in this sense, is the process of realizing this potential through sustained effort and focus. Greene emphasizes that this calling is often evident in childhood, when curiosity and enthusiasm are unfiltered by societal pressures. Children naturally gravitate toward activities that spark joy or fascination, whether it's building, storytelling, or exploring nature. These early inclinations are clues to the life's task, reflecting the brain's unique wiring. However, as people grow, societal expectations, parental guidance, or economic pressures often obscure this voice. Schools prioritize uniformity, and career paths are chosen for security rather than passion, leading many to drift from their true purpose. The result is a life of disconnection marked by boredom, frustration, or a vague sense of unfulfillment. To reconnect with the life's task, individuals must rediscover their origins, peeling back layers of external influence to uncover what truly excites them. This process requires courage and self-awareness, as it often means defying conventional paths or societal approval. Greene illustrates this with historical and contemporary figures who found their calling by following their inner voice, even against resistance. These examples show that mastery is not reserved for prodigies, but achievable by anyone who commits to this journey. Key strategies for discovering your calling. Greene outlines 5 strategies to help individuals identify and pursue their life's task. Below I summarize the first 3, which form the core of this section, along with their associated examples. 1. Return to your origins. This strategy involves reflecting on childhood passions and moments of intense engagement. These early experiences reveal the primal inclinations that define one's uniqueness. By revisiting these memories, individuals can identify patterns that point to their calling. Greene stresses that these inclinations are not frivolous but deeply tied to one's genetic predisposition, making them a reliable guide. Example: Leonardo da Vinci. From a young age, Leonardo was drawn to the natural world, sketching plants and animals with obsessive detail. Growing up in Vinci, Italy, he wandered hills and streams, captivated by the shapes and movements around him. This fascination with nature's forms persisted into adulthood, shaping his art, inventions, and scientific inquiries. His ability to see beauty and complexity in the ordinary, such as the flow of water or the curve of a leaf, stemmed from this early connection, which he never abandoned. Leonardo's life's task was to capture the essence of life itself, a pursuit that defined his mastery. Example: Temple Grandin. As a child with autism, Temple Grandin experienced the world differently, with heightened sensitivity to sensory details. She felt a profound connection to animals, particularly cows, whose behaviors she understood intuitively. This empathy, rooted in her unique neurological makeup, led her to study animal science, despite societal skepticism about her capabilities. Her life's task became designing humane livestock facilities, revolutionizing the industry by applying her innate ability to think like animals. Grandin's story shows how even unconventional inclinations can lead to a powerful calling. 2. Occupy the perfect niche. The world is vast, with countless fields and subfields, each offering opportunities to find a niche that matches one's strengths and interests. Greene advises exploring broadly to identify a domain where one's inclinations can flourish, then narrowing focus to a specific area. This niche should feel like a natural fit, allowing for deep engagement and eventual mastery. Example: V.S. Ramachandran. As a young man in India, Vilayanu S. Ramachandran was fascinated by science, but unsure of his path. He dabbled in various fields, from chemistry to psychology, before discovering neurology. Within neurology, he found his niche in studying phantom limb pain and visual perception, areas that combined his love for puzzles with his curiosity about the brain. By focusing on these specific problems, Ramachandran made groundbreaking discoveries, such as the mirror box therapy for phantom pain. His journey illustrates the importance of exploring until finding a niche. Example: Yoki Matsuoka, a robotics engineer, initially pursued tennis, excelling as a junior player. An injury forced her to pivot, and she turned to engineering, drawn to robotics for its blend of mechanics and human-like movement. Within robotics, she carved out a niche in neurorobotics, combining neuroscience with machine learning to create prosthetic limbs that mimic natural movement. Matsuoka's niche allowed her to merge her athletic instincts with intellectual curiosity, leading to innovations that advanced her field. Her story highlights how a shift in focus can reveal a niche perfectly suited to one's strengths. 3. Avoid the false path. Society often pushes individuals toward paths that promise security, status, or approval, but feel misaligned with their true inclinations. Greene warns that following these false paths, whether due to parental pressure, financial fears, or cultural trends, leads to dissatisfaction. To avoid this, individuals must prioritize their inner voice over external rewards, even if it means taking risks or starting over. Example: Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach, a promising boxer, faced pressure to continue his fighting career, driven by his family's expectations and the allure of fame. However, he felt unfulfilled, sensing his true passion lay elsewhere. After retiring, he began training boxers, discovering a knack for analyzing fighters' strengths and weaknesses. His life's task was not to be a champion in the ring, but to guide others to greatness, as seen in his work with boxers like Manny Pacquiao. Roach's shift from a false path to his true calling demonstrates the courage required to redefine one's purpose. Example: Daniel Everett. Daniel Everett, initially a missionary, aimed to convert the Piraha people in the Amazon. Over time, he realized his true fascination was their language and culture, not religious conversion. Abandoning his missionary goals, he pursued linguistics, immersing himself in the Piraha's world to document their unique language. This shift, though costly to his former life, led to significant contributions to anthropology and linguistics. Everett's story underscores the importance of rejecting a misaligned path, even when it feels secure. 4. Let go of the past. Life is dynamic, and clinging to outdated identities or past successes can prevent individuals from evolving toward their true calling. Greene advises releasing attachments to previous roles, achievements, or failures, as these can anchor one to a false sense of self. This strategy requires humility and openness to change, allowing individuals to realign with their life's task as circumstances shift. By letting go, they create space for new opportunities that better reflect their current inclinations and potential. Example, Buckminster Fuller. In his late 20s, Buckminster Fuller faced a crisis. After a series of professional failures and the tragic loss of his daughter, he felt trapped in a life misaligned with his deeper aspirations. Contemplating suicide, he decided instead to abandon his past identity as a struggling businessman. He committed to pursuing his fascination with design and problem-solving, focusing on innovative solutions for humanity's challenges. This shift led to the invention of the geodesic dome and other groundbreaking designs. Fuller's ability to let go of his past, marked by societal expectations and personal setbacks, allowed him to embrace his life's task as a visionary inventor, demonstrating the power of reinvention. Example, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. As a child prodigy, Mozart was molded by his domineering father into a performer for Europe's elite. While his musical talent was undeniable, this role confined him to pleasing others rather than exploring his creative depths. In his 20s, Mozart broke free from his father's control and the expectations of court patronage, moving to Vienna to compose on his own terms. This act of letting go of his past as a controlled prodigy enabled him to create revolutionary operas and symphonies, aligning with his true calling as a composer who reshaped music. Mozart's story shows how shedding external constraints can unlock one's authentic path. 5. Find your way back. Even if one strays from their life's task due to necessity, distraction, or error, it's never too late to return. Greene emphasizes that the inner voice persists, resurfacing in moments of dissatisfaction or longing. This strategy involves recognizing these signals and taking steps to realign with one's calling, no matter how far one has drifted. The process may require retraining, starting anew, or rekindling old passions, but the rewards are profound as it restores a sense of purpose. Example, Ingmar Bergman. Swedish filmmaker Ingmar Bergman initially pursued theatre, achieving success as a director. However, he felt unfulfilled, sensing his true passion lay in filmmaking, which allowed deeper exploration of human emotions. In his 30s, he shifted focus to cinema, returning to the creative freedom he'd glimpsed in his early experiments with film. This return to his calling produced masterpieces like The Seventh Seal and Persona, which cemented his legacy. Bergman's journey illustrates that even a successful career can be a detour if it doesn't align with one's core inclinations, and returning to the true path can yield extraordinary results. Example, John Coltrane. Jazz saxophonist John Coltrane initially played as a sideman in various bands, earning a living but feeling constrained by others' visions. His passion for music was rooted in spiritual and technical exploration, which he couldn't fully pursue in these roles. After battling personal struggles, including addiction, Coltrane recommitted to his craft in his 30s, focusing on innovative improvisation and composition. This return to his life's task led to albums like A Love Supreme, which redefined jazz. Coltrane's story highlights the resilience required to find one's way back, even after significant detours. Synthesis and broader implications. Chapter 1 underscores that the life's task is a dynamic, lifelong pursuit, not a static destination. Greene's 5 strategies, returning to origins, occupying a niche, avoiding false paths, letting go of the past, and finding one's way back, form a roadmap for navigating this journey. They address both internal barriers, fear, attachment, distraction, and external ones, societal pressure, economic necessity, offering practical steps to align with one's calling. The diversity of examples, spanning art, Leonardo, Mozart, Bergman, science, Ramachandran, Grandin, design, Fuller, Matsuoka, sports, Roach, music, Coltrane, and anthropology, Everett, illustrates that the life's task transcends fields, rooted instead in individual uniqueness. Greene grounds this process in evolutionary biology, noting that human survival depended on diverse roles within groups, from hunters to storytellers. This diversity, encoded in our genes, ensures each person's calling contributes to the collective. Modern society, however, often stifles this by prioritizing conformity over individuality. The chapter challenges readers to resist this, embracing their distinctiveness as a source of power. The stories also dispel myths about mastery, showing it's not about instant brilliance, but persistent alignment with one's inner voice, often requiring sacrifice or reinvention. A key theme is the role of time. Unlike animals bound by instinct, humans can reflect on their past and project into the future, using time to refine their calling. Yet time can also trap those who cling to false paths or past identities, as seen in Fuller's and Mozart's struggles. The strategies encourage a fluid relationship with time, urging individuals to adapt as their understanding of themselves evolves. This adaptability mirrors the evolutionary flexibility that allowed humans to thrive. Ultimately, Chapter 1 sets the stage for mastery by framing the life's task as the foundation. Without this clarity, later phases, apprenticeship, creativity, and mastery, lack direction. Greene's message is empowering. Everyone has a calling, and the path to mastery begins with the courage to listen and act. Chapter 2. Submit to reality, the ideal apprenticeship. Having identified one's life's task in Chapter 1, the next phase in the journey to mastery is the apprenticeship, a critical period of learning and self-transformation. In Mastery, Robert Greene describes this phase as a second education, distinct from formal schooling, where individuals immerse themselves in the realities of their chosen field. The apprenticeship is not merely about acquiring technical skills, but about reshaping the mind to align with the field's demands, cultivating discipline, and building a foundation for future creativity and mastery. Greene emphasizes that this phase requires humility and a willingness to submit to reality, accepting the field's rules, hierarchies, and challenges without ego or shortcuts. Historically, apprenticeship was a formal system, as seen in medieval guilds or Renaissance workshops, where novices spent years under masters, learning through observation and practice. In the modern world, with structured apprenticeships less common, individuals must create their own, seeking out mentors, opportunities, and experiences to gain deep knowledge. Greene argues that this phase is non-negotiable. Skipping it or rushing through leads to shallow skills and an inability to handle the complexities of mastery. The apprenticeship transforms novices from outsiders to insiders, equipping them to navigate their field with confidence. The apprenticeship unfolds in 3 steps: deep observation, the passive mode; skills acquisition, the practice mode; and experimentation, the active mode. Each step builds on the previous, gradually increasing independence and understanding. Greene also provides 8 strategies to maximize this phase, which I will cover partially in this section, along with their examples before pausing. The 3 steps of apprenticeship. 1. Deep observation, the passive mode. In the initial stage, apprentices must observe their environment closely, absorbing the unspoken rules, dynamics, and workflows of their field. This requires setting aside ego and preconceptions to understand how things function in reality. By watching mentors, colleagues, and processes, apprentices learn the language of their field, from technical terms to social cues. This passive mode builds a mental map, preventing costly mistakes later. 2. Skills acquisition, the practice mode. With a basic understanding in place, apprentices focus on mastering core skills through relentless practice. This step involves breaking down complex tasks into smaller components, repeating them until they become second nature. Greene stresses that practice must be deliberate, targeting weaknesses and seeking feedback. Over time, skills move from conscious effort to automatic fluency, freeing the mind for higher-level thinking. 3. Experimentation, the active mode. In the final step, Apprentices test their skills in real-world settings, taking on small projects or responsibilities. This active mode allows them to see how their knowledge applies, adapt to challenges, and begin developing their own style. Experimentation bridges the gap between rote learning and creative application, preparing apprentices for the next phase of mastery. Key strategies for mastering apprenticeship. Greene outlines 8 strategies to navigate the apprenticeship effectively. Below, I cover the first 4 with their examples, which focus on mindset and approach during this phase. 1. Value learning over money. Early in the apprenticeship, prioritizing financial gain can limit opportunities to learn. Greene advises seeking roles or environments that offer the most exposure to knowledge, even if they pay less. This long-term investment in learning builds a stronger foundation for mastery than short-term rewards. Example, Benjamin Franklin. As a young printer's apprentice in Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin could have chased higher-paying jobs, but chose to work under skilled printers to learn the trade thoroughly. He spent hours studying typography, writing, and publishing, often at the expense of immediate income. This focus on learning allowed him to master printing, which he later leveraged to become a successful publisher, writer, and inventor. Franklin's choice to prioritize knowledge over money exemplifies the apprenticeship mindset. Example, Zora Neale Hurston. Anthropologist and writer Zora Neale Hurston, born into poverty, worked low-paying jobs to fund her education and fieldwork. Instead of seeking lucrative careers, she immersed herself in studying African American folklore, traveling to rural communities to collect stories. Her commitment to learning over financial security led to works like Their Eyes Were Watching God, cementing her legacy. Hurston's story shows how valuing knowledge can unlock unique contributions. 2. Keep expanding your horizons. Apprentices must avoid tunnel vision, seeking diverse experiences within and beyond their field to broaden their perspective. Exposure to different ideas, skills, or cultures enriches understanding and fosters adaptability, key traits for mastery. Example, Charles Darwin. As a young man, Darwin was unsure of his path, dabbling in medicine and theology. His apprenticeship came through the voyage on the HMS Beagle, where he served as a naturalist. Instead of focusing narrowly on one discipline, he studied geology, botany, zoology, and anthropology, observing diverse ecosystems. This broad exposure shaped his theory of evolution, which synthesized insights across fields. Darwin's wide-ranging curiosity during his apprenticeship laid the groundwork for his revolutionary work. Example, Santiago Calatrava. Architect and engineer Santiago Calatrava began his apprenticeship studying both architecture and civil engineering, an unusual combination. He sought out mentors in structural design and art, traveling to study bridges, buildings, and sculptures. This interdisciplinary approach informed his distinctive style, blending engineering precision with artistic flair, as seen in structures like the turning torso. Calatrava's expansive learning illustrates the value of diverse horizons. 3. Revert to a feeling of inferiority. To learn effectively, apprentices must embrace a beginner's mindset, acknowledging their ignorance and staying open to correction. This humility allows them to absorb knowledge without defensiveness, accelerating growth. Example, Martha Graham. When Martha Graham began studying dance in her 20s, she was older than most students and lacked natural grace. Instead of resenting her limitations, she embraced her inferiority, studying under pioneers like Ruth St. Denis with intense focus. Her willingness to learn from scratch allowed her to master technique and later invent modern dance. Graham's humility during her apprenticeship transformed her into a visionary artist. Example, Daniel Everett. As a missionary-turned-linguist, Daniel Everett arrived among the Piraha with little knowledge of their language or culture. He adopted a student's mindset, living with the tribe and learning their language through observation and error. This humility enabled him to document the Piraha's unique linguistic features, contributing to anthropology. Everett's openness to inferiority highlights its role in deep learning. 4. Trust the process. Apprenticeship is often slow and repetitive, testing patience. Greene advises trusting that consistent effort will yield results, resisting the urge to seek shortcuts. This trust builds resilience and ensures skills are deeply ingrained. Example, Albert Einstein. As a patent clerk, Einstein spent years studying physics in his spare time, working through complex problems methodically. Despite lacking access to academic resources, he trusted that his persistent study would lead to breakthroughs. This process culminated in his theory of relativity, developed through years of quiet, disciplined work. Einstein's faith in the process shows its power in achieving mastery. Example, Freddie Roach. After retiring from boxing, Freddie Roach apprenticed as a trainer under Eddie Fuchs, spending years observing and practicing coaching techniques. The repetitive work of analyzing fighters and refining strategies was tedious, but Roach trusted it would build his expertise. This patience made him one of boxing's greatest trainers, guiding champions like Manny Pacquiao. Roach's story underscores the importance of enduring the slow grind. 5. Move toward resistance and pain. Apprenticeship is not meant to be comfortable. Greene advises leaning into areas of weakness or difficulty, as these are opportunities for growth. By tackling resistance, whether it's a challenging skill, a daunting task, or personal insecurity, apprentices build resilience and deepen their expertise. Avoiding pain leads to stagnation, while embracing it accelerates mastery. Example, Cesar Rodriguez. As a young Air Force pilot, Cesar Rodriguez faced intense pressure to master aerial combat, a field where mistakes could be fatal. Instead of shying away from high-stakes simulations or dogfights, he sought out the most challenging scenarios, learning from each encounter. This willingness to confront fear and failure honed his skills, earning him the nickname Ace for his Gulf War victories. Rodriguez's embrace of resistance shows how pain can forge exceptional competence. Example, Bill Bradley. Before becoming a US Senator, Bill Bradley was a basketball prodigy who struggled with inconsistency in high-pressure games. Rather than avoiding these moments, he practiced under simulated stress, shooting in empty gyms late at night to mimic game conditions. This deliberate engagement with discomfort transformed him into an NBA star and Olympic gold medalist. Bradley's story illustrates how moving toward pain builds mental and technical strength. 6. Apprentice yourself in failure. Failure is an inevitable part of learning, and Greene encourages apprentices to view it as a teacher. By analyzing mistakes and iterating, they gain insights that success alone cannot provide. This strategy requires emotional resilience to endure setbacks without losing motivation. Example, Henry Ford. Early in his career, Henry Ford's attempts to build automobiles were marred by failures, including underpowered engines and unreliable designs. Instead of giving up, he studied each flop, learning about mechanics and production. These lessons led to the Model T and the assembly line, revolutionizing industry. Ford's apprenticeship in failure demonstrates how setbacks can pave the way for innovation. Example, John Keats. Example, John Keats. The Romantic poet John Keats faced harsh criticism for his early works, which were deemed immature by critics. Rather than retreating, he used the feedback to refine his style, experimenting with new forms and themes. His persistence through failure produced masterpieces like Ode to a Nightingale before his untimely death at 25. Keats's story highlights how failure can sharpen creative vision. 7. Combine the how and the what. Apprentices must understand both the mechanics, the how, and the purpose, the what, of their work. Focusing only on technique without context leads to rote performance, while obsessing over outcomes without mastering process breeds frustration. Integrating both creates a holistic understanding, enabling effective application. Example, Paul Graham. As a programmer and entrepreneur, Paul Graham learned coding by studying not just syntax but the underlying logic of software design. He explored why certain programs solved problems better, combining technical skill with a vision for user needs. This dual focus led to the creation of Y Combinator, a startup accelerator that transformed tech entrepreneurship. Graham's ability to merge how and what underscores its importance in impactful work. Example, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. During his apprenticeship, Mozart mastered musical composition by studying both technique, counterpoint harmony, and purpose, emotional expression, audience impact. He analyzed others' scores to understand how structure conveyed feeling, applying this to his own works. This integration produced compositions that were technically brilliant and deeply moving, setting him apart. Mozart's example shows how combining mechanics and meaning elevates skill. 8. Advance through trial and error. Mastery requires active experimentation, where apprentices test ideas in real-world settings. Greene advises embracing trial and error, as it reveals what works and what doesn't, refining skills through practical experience. This iterative process fosters creativity and adaptability. Example, Thomas Edison. Edison's development of the incandescent light bulb involved thousands of experiments, with countless failures. He treated each attempt as a step forward, learning which materials and designs were viable. This relentless trial and error led to a practical bulb that changed the world. Edison's persistence through experimentation exemplifies its role in breakthroughs. Example, Santiago Calatrava revisited. Early in his career, Calatrava tested unconventional structural designs, building models that often collapsed. Each failure informed his next attempt, teaching him how to balance aesthetics and stability. This trial and error approach produced iconic structures like the City of Arts and Sciences. Calatrava's iterative process reinforces the value of learning through action. Synthesis and broader implications. Chapter 2 presents the apprenticeship as a disciplined, immersive phase that transforms novices into skilled practitioners. The 8 strategies, valuing learning, expanding horizons, embracing inferiority, trusting the process, moving toward resistance, apprenticing in failure, combining how and what, and advancing through trial and error, form a comprehensive guide to navigating this stage. The examples spanning science, Darwin, Einstein, Edison, arts, Graham, Keats, Mozart, sports, Rodriguez, Bradley, engineering, Ford, Calatrava, anthropology, Everett, Hurston, programming, Graham, and politics, Franklin, show that apprenticeship principles apply universally, regardless of field. Greene's emphasis on submitting to reality counters modern impulses to seek instant mastery or avoid discomfort. The strategies encourage a mindset of patience, humility, and resilience, aligning with the evolutionary trait of learning through observation and adaptation. The chapter also highlights the apprenticeship's dual role. It builds technical proficiency while reshaping character, fostering traits like perseverance and curiosity essential for later phases. By framing failure, resistance, and trial and error as allies, Greene redefines challenges as opportunities. This perspective is crucial in a culture that often fears mistakes or prioritizes quick success. The apprenticeship, with its slow, deliberate pace, prepares individuals to handle the complexities of creativity and mastery, setting the stage for the mentor dynamic in Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Absorb the master's power. The mentor dynamic. In Mastery, Robert Greene identifies the mentor-protege relationship as a cornerstone of the apprenticeship phase, accelerating the path to mastery by providing direct access to expertise, guidance, and insight. Chapter 3. Absorb the master's power. The mentor dynamic explores how mentors serve as living embodiments of a field's knowledge. offering apprentices a shortcut to deep understanding. Unlike books or self-study, mentors provide real-time feedback, nuanced wisdom, and a model of excellence, helping apprentices navigate complexities that would otherwise take years to grasp. Greene likens this relationship to alchemy, where the mentor's magic transforms the protégé's raw potential into refined skill. The mentor dynamic is rooted in human evolution. Early humans learned survival skills by observing and imitating elders, a process mirrored in traditional apprenticeships where novices worked closely with masters. In the modern world, where formal mentorships are less structured, apprentices must actively seek out mentors, teachers, professionals, or even peers who embody the skills and vision they aspire to. However, this relationship is not one-sided. Mentors benefit from protégés' energy, fresh perspectives, and assistance, creating a symbiotic exchange. Greene warns that without mentorship, apprentices risk floundering, wasting time on trial and error, or falling into bad habits. The challenge lies in fostering a productive dynamic. Mentors are human, with their own egos, insecurities, or limitations, and protégés must navigate these carefully. Greene outlines 4 strategies to maximize the mentor relationship, emphasizing humility, strategic engagement, and eventual independence. This section covers the first 2 strategies, their examples, and the broader context, with the remaining strategies to follow in the next part. Core concepts of the mentor dynamic. The mentor-protégé relationship is a two-way street, requiring mutual respect and alignment. Mentors offer more than technical instruction. They transmit tacit knowledge, intuition, problem-solving approaches, and professional nuances that cannot be learned from texts. This power is absorbed through close observation, imitation, and dialogue, allowing protégé to internalize their mentor's mindset. However, protégé must approach mentors with clarity about their own needs, choosing individuals whose expertise matches their life's task. Blind devotion or choosing mentors for status rather than relevance can derail progress. Greene also highlights the emotional and psychological dimensions of this dynamic. Protégé must balance admiration with independence, learning to adapt the mentor's teachings to their own style. Over time, the goal is to surpass the mentor, not out of rivalry, but as a natural outcome of growth. This progression mirrors the apprenticeship's broader aim, transforming the self through disciplined learning. Key strategies for deepening the mentor relationship. Greene provides 4 strategies to cultivate a fruitful mentor-protégé dynamic. Below, I cover the first 2 with their examples, which focus on selecting and engaging with mentors effectively. 1. Choose the mentor. According to your needs and inclinations. Selecting the right mentor is critical. Greene advises apprentices to identify individuals whose expertise aligns with their life's task and whose teaching style suits their learning preferences. A mentor's reputation or fame is less important than their ability to address specific gaps in knowledge or skill. This choice requires self-awareness and research, as the wrong mentor can lead to frustration or misdirection. Example, Michael Faraday. In 19th century England, Michael Faraday, a bookbinder's apprentice with a passion for science, sought a mentor to guide his self-taught experiments. He chose Humphrey Davy, a renowned chemist whose lectures Faraday attended meticulously, even binding notes into a book to impress him. Davy, recognizing Faraday's potential, hired him as an assistant. Faraday's choice was strategic. Davy's expertise in chemistry and electricity matched Faraday's interests, and his hands-on teaching style suited Faraday's curiosity. This mentorship launched Faraday's career, leading to discoveries in electromagnetism. Faraday's story shows the importance of aligning a mentor's strengths with one's goals. Example, Yoki Matsuoka, robotics engineer Yoki Matsuoka, after shifting from tennis to engineering, sought mentors who could guide her interdisciplinary interests in robotics and neuroscience. At MIT, she worked under Rodney Brooks, a pioneer in autonomous robots, whose practical approach complemented her hands-on learning style. Later, she collaborated with neuroscientists to explore brain-machine interfaces. Matsuoka's careful selection of mentors who matched her niche, combining robotics with human movement, enabled her to innovate in neurorobotics, creating advanced prosthetics. Her journey underscores the need for mentors who resonate with one's specific path. 2. Gaze deep into the mentor's mirror. Mentors act as mirrors, reflecting both the apprentice's potential and their flaws. Greene advises protégés to study their mentor's methods closely, absorbing not just techniques, but also their problem-solving mindset and work habits. This involves active observation and asking questions to uncover the why behind their actions. By internalizing the mentor's approach, protégés accelerate their learning, but they must also accept critical feedback, using it to refine their skills. Example, Frank Lloyd Wright. As a young architect, Frank Lloyd Wright apprenticed under Louis Sullivan, the father of skyscrapers, in Chicago. Wright studied Sullivan's organic design philosophy, which integrated form and function, observing how he balanced aesthetics with engineering. When Sullivan critiqued Wright's early drawings, pointing out flaws in proportion, Wright embraced the feedback, refining his craft. This deep engagement with Sullivan's methods shaped Wright's innovative style, seen in works like Falling Water. Wright's ability to gaze into Sullivan's mirror, absorbing both praise and critique, illustrates the power of this strategy. Example, Glenn Gould. Canadian pianist Glenn Gould, a child prodigy, trained under Alberto Guerrero, a teacher who emphasized technical precision and emotional depth. Gould spent hours watching Guerrero demonstrate phrasing and dynamics, asking probing questions about interpretation. When Guerrero pointed out Gould's tendency to rush tempos, Gould adjusted, developing his signature clarity. This mentorship refined Gould's performances, leading to iconic recordings like the Goldberg Variations. Gould's intense study of Guerrero's approach shows how mirroring a mentor's expertise builds mastery. 3. Transfigure their ideas. While apprentices initially imitate their mentors, Greene advises moving beyond mimicry to adapt and reinterpret their teachings. This involves taking the mentor's ideas, combining them with one's own insights, and applying them in new contexts. By transfiguring these ideas, protégés develop their unique voice, laying the groundwork for creative independence. This strategy requires confidence to innovate, while respecting the mentor's foundation. Example, Carl Jung. As a young psychiatrist, Carl Jung apprenticed under Sigmund Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis. Jung absorbed Freud's theories on the unconscious, studying his methods closely. However, he began to see limitations in Freud's focus on sexuality as the sole driver of behavior. Jung transfigured Freud's ideas by integrating concepts from mythology, religion, and anthropology, developing his own theory of the collective unconscious and archetypes. This adaptation, though it strained their relationship, established Jung as a pioneering thinker. Jung's story illustrates how reinterpreting a mentor's ideas can lead to groundbreaking contributions. Example, V.S. Ramachandran. Neurologist V.S. Ramachandran trained under mentors who studied brain function through traditional methods like lesion analysis. While he mastered these techniques, Ramachandran saw opportunities to innovate by using simpler, creative experiments, such as mirrors, to treat phantom limb pain. By transfiguring his mentor's rigorous approaches into accessible, unconventional solutions, he advanced neuroscience. Ramachandran's ability to build on his mentor's ideas with his own flair highlights the creative potential of this strategy. 4. Create a back-and-forth dynamic. The mentor-protégé relationship thrives on mutual exchange. Greene encourages apprentices to contribute ideas, energy, or assistance, making the relationship dynamic rather than one-sided. This reciprocity keeps mentors engaged and fosters a collaborative environment, allowing protégés to gain deeper insights while earning respect. Over time, this back and forth prepares apprentices to stand as equals, a crucial step toward independence. Example, Hakuin Zenji. In 18th century Japan, Zen master Hakuin Zenji trained under Shoju Rojin, a rigorous teacher who demanded intense meditation practice. Hakuin not only followed Shoju's guidance but also challenged him with questions and shared his own insights on Zen koans. This active participation created a lively exchange, deepening Hakuin's understanding and earning Shoju's respect. Hakuin later revitalized Rinzai Zen, developing teaching methods still used today. His back-and-forth dynamic with Shoju shows how mutual engagement enhances learning. Example, Freddie Roach, boxing trainer. Freddie Roach, while apprenticing under Eddie Futch, didn't just absorb techniques. He offered observations from his own fighting experience, suggesting tweaks to training drills. Futch valued Roach's input, fostering a collaborative relationship that enriched Roach's learning. This dynamic helped Roach develop his own coaching style, which he later used to train champions like Manny Pacquiao. Roach's story demonstrates how contributing to the mentor's work builds a stronger partnership. Synthesis and broader implications. Chapter 3 underscores the mentor-protégé relationship as a catalyst for mastery, compressing years of learning through direct access to expertise. The 4 strategies, choosing the right mentor, gazing into their mirror, transfiguring their ideas, and creating a back-and-forth dynamic, provide a roadmap for maximizing this relationship. The examples, Faraday, Matsuoka, Wright, Gould, Jung, Ramachandran, Hakuin, and Roach, span science, psychology, architecture, music, spirituality, and sports, illustrating the universal relevance of mentorship. Each figure shows how strategic engagement with mentors accelerates skill acquisition and fosters independence. Greene's evolutionary perspective frames mentorship as a modern echo of ancestral learning, where novices mimicked elders to survive. The strategies address contemporary challenges, such as navigating mentors' egos or balancing admiration with originality. By transfiguring ideas and fostering reciprocity, protégés move from dependence to autonomy, preparing for the creative active phase. The chapter also highlights the emotional intelligence required to manage these relationships, a theme that will deepen in Chapter 4's focus on social intelligence. Ultimately, Chapter 3 positions mentors as temporary guides, not permanent crutches. The goal is to absorb their power, adapt it, and surpass it, aligning with the broader arc of mastery. This dynamic sets the stage for navigating the social complexities of a field where relationships extend beyond mentors to peers and adversaries. Chapter 4. See people as they are. Social intelligence. In Mastery, Robert Greene identifies social intelligence as a critical component of the path to mastery, enabling individuals to navigate the human dynamics that shape their field. Chapter 4. See people as they are. Social intelligence argues that technical expertise alone is insufficient. Mastery requires understanding and influencing others, colleagues, mentors, competitors, and audiences. Social intelligence is the ability to see people as they truly are, beyond appearances or assumptions, by reading their motivations, emotions, and behaviors. This skill allows individuals to build alliances, avoid conflicts, and advance their goals, making it as essential as the skills honed in apprenticeship or mentorship. Greene roots social intelligence in human evolution. Early humans survived through group cohesion, relying on keen observation of non-verbal cues, facial expressions, gestures, tone, to detect trust, danger, or deception. Mirror neurons, which fire when observing others' actions, enabled our ancestors to empathize and anticipate intentions, a trait critical for hunting, parenting, and social bonding. In modern contexts, this same capacity helps individuals decode complex social environments, from workplaces to creative collaborations. However, modern distractions, technology, self-absorption, idealized media portrayals dull this instinct, fostering a naive perspective that misreads people and leads to costly mistakes. The naive perspective is a barrier to social intelligence, characterized by projecting one's own emotions onto others, taking words at face value, or ignoring hidden agendas. Greene describes 7 deadly realities: envy, conformism, rigidity, self-obsessiveness, laziness, flightiness, and passive aggression that shape human behavior and must be recognized to avoid being blindsided. Social intelligence counters this naivete by cultivating a realistic view of people, enabling strategic interactions that support one's life's task. Greene outlines 4 strategies to develop social intelligence, emphasizing observation, adaptability, and restraint. This section covers the first 2 strategies, their examples, and the foundational concepts, with the remaining strategies to follow in the next part. Core concepts of social intelligence. Social intelligence is not about manipulation, but about clarity and effectiveness in human interactions. It involves reading nonverbal signals, body language, eye contact, micro-expressions, and discerning patterns in behavior over time. Greene stresses that people often hide their true intentions, driven by insecurities, envy, or self-interest, and words alone are unreliable. By understanding these dynamics, individuals can anticipate others' actions, build trust, and diffuse conflicts. The deadly realities are universal tendencies that complicate social interactions. Envy. Others may resent your success, undermining you subtly. Conformism. People cling to group norms, resisting innovation. Rigidity. Fixed mindsets block collaboration or change. Self-obsessiveness. Ego blinds people to others' needs. Laziness. Shortcuts lead to unreliable commitments. Flightiness. Distraction causes inconsistent behavior. Passive aggression. Hidden hostility masquerades as friendliness. Mastering social intelligence means recognizing these traits without judgment, using them to navigate relationships strategically. This skill is crucial for advancing in any field, as no one achieves mastery in isolation. Greene warns that neglecting social intelligence can derail even the most talented, as missteps with others, alienating allies, provoking enemies, can halt progress. Key strategies for acquiring social intelligence. Greene provides 4 strategies to cultivate social intelligence. Below, I cover the first 2, with their examples, which focus on communication and self-perception. 1. Speak through your work. Rather than relying on charm or self-promotion, Greene advises letting your work speak for you. High-quality output, whether art, research, or performance, earns respect and minimizes envy or misinterpretation. By focusing on excellence, you communicate competence and integrity, building trust without overt persuasion. This strategy is especially effective in environments where actions carry more weight than words. Example: Benjamin Franklin. As a young printer in Philadelphia, Benjamin Franklin faced skepticism from established printers who saw him as an upstart. Instead of arguing his worth, Franklin focused on producing flawless pamphlets and newspapers, showcasing his skill and reliability. His work's quality won over clients and peers, establishing his reputation without provoking envy. Franklin's approach demonstrates how letting results speak can navigate social dynamics effectively. Example: Teresita Fernandez. Contemporary artist Teresita Fernandez, early in her career, faced a competitive art world where self-promotion was common. She chose to let her sculptures and installations, evocative works blending light and space, define her presence. Their originality and craftsmanship earned her critical acclaim and commissions, bypassing the need for aggressive networking. Fernandez's story shows how work can communicate value, especially in creative fields. 2. Craft the appropriate persona. People judge based on appearances, so Greene advises crafting a persona that aligns with your field's expectations while staying authentic. This involves adjusting your demeanor, style, or communication to fit the context, serious for science, bold for art, without losing your core identity. A well-crafted persona disarms others, making them receptive to your ideas, and counters the naive perspective by controlling how you're perceived. Example, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. In 18th century Germany, Goethe, a young writer, entered Weimar's aristocratic court, a world of rigid etiquette. To gain influence, he crafted a persona blending intellectual brilliance with charm and restraint, dressing elegantly and speaking thoughtfully. This allowed him to win the Duke's favor and collaborate with scholars, advancing his literary career. Goethe's strategic persona shows how adapting to social norms can open doors without compromising authenticity. Example, Daniel Everett, linguist. Daniel Everett, studying the Piraha in the Amazon, initially approached them as a missionary, which created distance. To build trust, he crafted a persona as a curious learner, adopting their casual demeanor and participating in daily tasks like fishing. This shift earned the Piraha's respect, allowing him to study their language deeply. Everett's adaptability illustrates how a tailored persona can bridge cultural gaps. 3. See yourself as others. See you. Social intelligence requires self-awareness, particularly understanding how others perceive you. Greene advises stepping outside your own perspective to recognize how your actions, words, or demeanor affect others. This involves observing reactions, subtle cues like body language or tone, and adjusting to avoid misunderstandings or unintended offense. By aligning your self-image with others' perceptions, you gain control over your social impact, fostering trust and cooperation. Example, Ignaz Semmelweis. In 19th century Vienna, physician Ignaz Semmelweis discovered that hand-washing reduced childbirth infections, but his abrasive demeanor alienated colleagues. He failed to see how his confrontational style, accusing doctors of negligence, made them defensive, blocking his ideas. Had Semmelweis observed their reactions and softened his approach, he might have persuaded more hospitals to adopt his life-saving practice. Semmelweis's story, a cautionary tale, shows how failing to see oneself as others do can undermine even brilliant work. Example, Temple Grandin. As an autistic scientist, Temple Grandin initially struggled to understand how her blunt communication was perceived in academic and industry settings. By studying colleagues' reactions and seeking feedback, she learned to adapt her presentations, using clear visuals and humor to convey her insights on animal behavior. This self-awareness helped her gain allies in the livestock industry, advancing her designs for humane facilities. Grandin's ability to adjust her image highlights the power of this strategy. 4. Suffer fools. Gladly. Every field has difficult people, those who are incompetent, obstructive, or irrational. Greene advises against fighting or resenting them, as this wastes energy and creates enemies. Instead, treat them with patience and strategic kindness, disarming their hostility and maintaining your focus. By suffering fools gladly, you preserve your emotional equilibrium and turn potential adversaries into neutral or even supportive figures. Example, William Harvey. In 17th century England, physician William Harvey faced skepticism from colleagues who clung to outdated theories about blood circulation. Rather than arguing, Harvey patiently presented his evidence through dissections and lectures, addressing critics with respect. His calm approach gradually won over the medical establishment, establishing circulation as fact. Harvey's ability to handle detractors without antagonism shows how patience with fools can advance one's cause. Example, Paul Graham. As a tech entrepreneur, Paul Graham encountered investors and programmers who dismissed his ideas for Y Combinator, calling them impractical. Instead of confronting them, Graham listened, addressed their concerns politely, and focused on proving his model through results. His restraint turned skeptics into supporters, helping Y Combinator thrive. Graham's story illustrates how strategic patience with difficult people preserves momentum. Synthesis and broader implications. Chapter 4 positions social intelligence as a linchpin of mastery, complementing technical and creative skills by enabling effective human interactions. The 4 strategies: speaking through work, crafting a persona, seeing yourself as others see you, and suffering fools gladly, offer a practical framework for navigating social complexities. The examples: Franklin, Fernandez, Goethe, Everett, Semmelweis, Grandin, Harvey, and Graham span printing, art, literature, anthropology, medicine, animal science, and tech, demonstrating that social intelligence is essential across domains. Each figure shows how reading and influencing others amplifies their life's task, while Semmelweis's failure underscores the cost of neglecting this skill. Greene's evolutionary lens ties social intelligence to survival, where decoding group dynamics ensured cooperation and safety. The deadly realities serve as a modern diagnostic, helping individuals anticipate envy or rigidity in colleagues, much as ancestors detected threats. The strategies counter the naive perspective, which misreads people due to projection or idealism, by fostering realism and adaptability. This realism is crucial in the transition from apprenticeship to the creative active phase, where collaboration and influence become central. The chapter also highlights the emotional discipline required for social intelligence. Handling fools or adjusting one's persona demands restraint and empathy, qualities that strengthen relationships and resilience. By mastering these skills, individuals not only advance their goals, but also contribute to their field's social fabric, aligning with Greene's broader vision of mastery as a force for collective progress. This chapter bridges earlier phases, finding one's calling, apprenticing, and leveraging mentors, to the creative active phase, where social intelligence enables the application of skills in real-world contexts. It prepares readers for Chapter 5, where creativity takes center stage, by ensuring they can navigate the human terrain that shapes innovation. Chapter 5. Awaken the dimensional mind. The creative active in mastery. Robert Greene describes the creative active phase as the stage where individuals transition from absorbing knowledge to applying it innovatively. Chapter 5. Awaken the dimensional mind. The creative active explores how mastery requires not just technical proficiency, but the ability to generate original ideas and solutions. After the apprenticeship phase, Chapter 2, and mentorship, Chapter 3, and armed with social intelligence, Chapter 4, individuals enter this phase ready to shape their field. The dimensional mind refers to a heightened perception that sees beyond surface details to underlying patterns, connections, and possibilities, enabling breakthroughs that redefine reality. Greene roots this creativity in human evolution. Early humans survived by adapting tools and strategies to new environments, a process requiring imagination and problem-solving. The brain's plasticity, honed over millions of years, allows individuals to transcend rote learning and invent new approaches. However, modern culture often stifles this potential, promoting conformity and quick results over deep exploration. The creative active phase counters this by fostering rebellion against established rules, encouraging individuals to trust their unique insights. This phase unfolds in 3 steps: the creative task, creative strategies, and the creative breakthrough. Greene also identifies 6 emotional pitfalls: complacency, conservatism, dependency, impatience, grandiosity, and inflexibility that can derail creativity, and offers 9 strategies to awaken the dimensional mind. This section covers the 3 steps, the emotional pitfalls, and the first 3 strategies, with their examples, with the remaining strategies to follow in the next part. The 3 steps of the creative active phase. 1. The creative task. The first step is defining a project or problem that aligns with one's life's task and pushes creative boundaries. This task should be ambitious yet feasible, requiring deep engagement with the field's realities. It serves as a focal point for channeling skills and insights, sparking original ideas through intense focus. 2. Creative strategies. With the task defined, individuals employ strategies to generate ideas, such as questioning assumptions, making unexpected connections, or embracing uncertainty. These strategies leverage the knowledge gained in apprenticeship, transforming it into novel applications. Creativity here is disciplined, not random, grounded in a deep understanding of the field. 3. The creative breakthrough. The final step is achieving a breakthrough, where persistent effort and strategic thinking yield a transformative idea or product. This moment often feels intuitive, as the mind synthesizes years of learning into a new whole. Breakthroughs redefine the field, cementing the individual's impact. Emotional pitfalls. Greene warns of 6 emotional pitfalls that can sabotage creativity. Complacency. Success breeds laziness, reducing drive. Conservatism. Fear of risk leads to safe, uninspired work. Dependency. Relying on others' approval stifles originality. Impatience. Rushing for results skips necessary depth. Grandiosity. Ego inflates self-perception, blinding one to flaws. Inflexibility. Clinging to old methods blocks innovation. Avoiding these requires self-awareness and discipline, ensuring the creative process remains dynamic and open. Key strategies for awakening the dimensional mind. Greene outlines 9 strategies to foster creativity. Below, I cover the first 3 with their examples, which focus on cultivating openness, serendipity, and mental agility. 1. Cultivate negative capability. Borrowing from poet John Keats, Greene describes negative capability as the ability to embrace uncertainty and ambiguity without rushing to conclusions. This openness allows the mind to explore multiple perspectives, uncovering insights that rigid thinking misses. By tolerating doubt, individuals access deeper creative potential. Example: John Keats. Keats himself exemplified negative capability in his poetry, dwelling in the mysteries of human experience, love, death, beauty, without forcing answers. His Ode to a Nightingale reflects this, blending awe and melancholy into a fluid exploration of existence. This approach produced works that resonate universally, showing how embracing uncertainty fuels creative depth. Example: Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. In composing, Mozart often held conflicting musical ideas, dissonance and harmony, chaos and order, without resolving them prematurely. This allowed him to craft operas like The Marriage of Figaro, where complex emotions coexist, creating rich narratives. Mozart's negative capability enabled compositions that broke conventional boundaries. 2. Allow for serendipity. Creativity thrives on unexpected connections, which Greene calls serendipity. He advises creating conditions for chance discoveries by exposing oneself to diverse ideas, people, and experiences. This openness to the unplanned sparks insights that deliberate planning cannot. Example: Alexander Fleming. While studying bacteria, biologist Alexander Fleming noticed mold contaminating a petri dish, which unexpectedly killed nearby bacteria. Instead of discarding it, he explored this anomaly, leading to the discovery of penicillin. Fleming's openness to serendipity transformed medicine, illustrating how chance can drive breakthroughs. Example: Buckminster Fuller. Inventor. Buckminster Fuller embraced serendipity by pursuing eclectic interests, from architecture to philosophy. A chance encounter with lightweight materials inspired his geodesic dome, blending unrelated fields into a revolutionary design. Fuller's willingness to follow unexpected leads shows serendipity's creative power. 3. Alternate the mind through the current. Greene describes the current as a mental state of flow, where focus alternates between intense concentration and relaxed detachment. This rhythm, diving deeply into a problem, then stepping back, allows the subconscious to process ideas, yielding fresh perspectives. Switching between these modes prevents mental rigidity. Example, Albert Einstein. Einstein developed his theory of relativity by alternating intense mathematical work with periods of daydreaming, often visualizing concepts like riding a light beam. This interplay between focus and imagination led to his groundbreaking equations. Einstein's use of the current highlights how mental alternation fosters innovation. Example, Marie Curie. Physicist Marie Curie alternated rigorous lab experiments with reflective walks, where she pondered radioactivity's implications. These breaks allowed her subconscious to connect observations, leading to her discovery of radium. Curie's balanced approach demonstrates how the current enhances creative insight. 4. Alter your perspective. Creativity often stalls when stuck in conventional viewpoints. Greene advises consciously shifting perspective, zooming in on details, zooming out for context, or adopting others' viewpoints to reveal new angles. This mental flexibility disrupts rote thinking, sparking innovative solutions. Example, Charles Darwin. Darwin's theory of evolution emerged from altering his perspective on species. Initially viewing them as fixed, he began seeing them as dynamic, influenced by environmental pressures. By zooming out to consider geological time and zooming in on finch-beak variations, he synthesized natural selection. Darwin's shifting viewpoints show how perspective drives discovery. Example, Teresita Fernandez. Artist. Teresita Fernandez creates installations that manipulate light and space, inviting viewers to shift their perception. She achieves this by studying her materials from multiple angles, literal and conceptual, experimenting with reflections and shadows. Her work, like fire, redefines environments, demonstrating perspective's creative power. 5. Revert to primal forms of intelligence. Humans evolved with sensory and intuitive intelligence, honed through interaction with nature. Greene suggests tapping into this primal awareness through physical engagement or sensory focus to unlock creativity stifled by abstract thinking. Example, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo's inventions and art stemmed from observing nature's patterns like water currents or bird flight. He sketched obsessively, using his senses to capture motion and form, which informed his engineering and paintings. This primal engagement fueled his multidimensional creativity. Example, Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin's designs for humane livestock facilities arose from her sensory connection to animals. By physically experiencing their environments, crawling through chutes, she intuited their stress points, creating intuitive solutions. Grandin's primal intelligence highlights its role in practical innovation. 6. Embrace the mechanical creativity can benefit from mastering repetitive or technical processes as they free the mind to focus on higher-level ideas. Greene advises embracing the mechanical aspects of a field, turning them into second nature to enable creative leaps. Example, Thomas Edison. Edison's inventions, like the phonograph, relied on mastering mechanical processes like circuitry and material testing. By automating these through practice, he could focus on conceptual leaps, producing over 1,000 patents. Edison's mechanical fluency shows how routine enables innovation. Example, John Coltrane. Jazz saxophonist John Coltrane spent years perfecting scales and chord progressions, making them instinctive. This technical mastery allowed him to improvise freely, creating groundbreaking works like A Love Supreme. Coltrane's embrace of the mechanical fueled his creative freedom. 7. Make new associations. Creativity thrives on connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. Greene encourages seeking associations across fields, cultures, or disciplines, as these collisions spark novel insights and solutions. Example, Santiago Calatrava. Architect Santiago Calatrava draws inspiration from nature, engineering, and art, associating skeletal structures with bridges or wings with buildings. His City of Arts and Sciences blends these, creating iconic designs. Calatrava's associative thinking illustrates cross-disciplinary creativity. Example, Paul Graham, tech entrepreneur. Paul Graham connected programming with startup culture, associating code's iterative nature with business experimentation. This led to Y Combinator's model of rapid prototyping for startups. Graham's associations reshaped tech innovation. 8. Pursue anomalies. Anomalies, unexpected results or outliers, often hold the key to breakthroughs. Greene advises investigating these deviations rather than dismissing them, as they reveal hidden truths. Example, Louis Pasteur. Pasteur's discovery of vaccination came from studying an anomaly. Chickens exposed to weakened cholera bacteria survived later infections. Pursuing this oddity led to his germ theory advancements. Pasteur's focus on anomalies transformed medicine. Example, V.S. Ramachandran. Neurologist V.S. Ramachandran explored why amputees felt phantom limb pain, an anomaly ignored by peers. His mirror box therapy, born from this pursuit, alleviated suffering. Ramachandran's anomaly-driven approach shows its creative potential. Rebel against the rules. Mastery involves questioning established conventions, as rules often limit innovation. Greene encourages strategic rebellion, challenging norms once you understand them deeply, to create new paradigms. Example, Martha Graham, dancer. Martha Graham rejected ballet's rigid forms, developing modern dance with raw, expressive movements. Her rebellion, grounded in technical mastery, redefined dance. Graham's rule-breaking established a new artistic language. Example, Wright brothers. Orville and Wilbur Wright challenged aviation dogma, which favored brute engine power. By focusing on aerodynamics and control, they achieved powered flight. Their rebellion against prevailing rules revolutionized transportation. Synthesis and broader implications. Chapter 5 frames the creative active phase as a liberation of the mind, where disciplined creativity produces original contributions. The 9 strategies: negative capability, serendipity, the current, altering perspective, primal intelligence, mechanical mastery, associations, anomalies, and rebellion, offer a toolkit for awakening the dimensional mind. The examples: Keats, Mozart, Fleming, Fuller, Einstein, Curie, Darwin, Fernandez, Leonardo, Grandin, Edison, Coltrane, Calatrava, Graham, Pasteur, Ramachandran, Martha Graham, and the Wright brothers span arts, sciences, and engineering, showing creativity's universal principles. Each figure transforms their field by seeing reality differently, aligning with Greene's vision of mastery as reality shaping. The evolutionary lens ties creativity to human adaptability, where innovation ensured survival. The emotional pitfalls highlight modern barriers, fear of risk, ego, that stifle this instinct. By embracing these strategies, individuals reclaim their brain's potential, building on apprenticeship, mentorship, and social intelligence to create impactful work. This chapter prepares readers for Chapter 6, where intuition and rationality fuse in the mastery phase, by fostering the originality needed for ultimate mastery. Chapter 6. Fuse the intuitive with the rational. Mastery. In Mastery, Robert Greene presents the mastery phase as the culmination of the journey, where individuals achieve a profound connection to their field, blending intuitive insight with rational precision. Chapter 6. Fuse the intuitive with the rational. Mastery explores how mastery transcends technical skill or creativity, manifesting as a near-mystical ability to grasp reality's essence. This phase, built on the foundations of discovering one's life's task, Chapter 1, Apprenticeship, Chapter 2, Mentorship, Chapter 3, Social Intelligence, Chapter 4, and Creative Active Innovation, Chapter 5, enables individuals to operate at an unparalleled level, shaping their field and influencing others effortlessly. Greene describes mastery as a state of heightened intelligence, marked by what he calls the fingertip feel, a deep, intuitive understanding that allows rapid, accurate decisions without conscious deliberation. This intuition is not innate, but earned through years of immersive practice, where the brain internalizes vast patterns and details. The rational mind, honed through analysis, merges with this intuition, creating a dynamic interplay that produces extraordinary results. Mastery is not about isolated genius, but a disciplined process accessible to anyone who commits to the path. Rooted in human evolution, mastery reflects the brain's capacity to adapt and synthesize. Early humans developed intuitive skills through prolonged observation and practice, such as tracking prey or crafting tools, which modern masters replicate in their fields. Greene demystifies the genius label, arguing that mastery arises from time, focus, and a return to reality. Understanding the world as it is, not as one wishes it to be. This chapter outlines 7 strategies to attain mastery, emphasizing deep engagement and expansive thinking. This section covers the core concepts, the nature of intuition, and the first 3 strategies, with their examples, with the remaining strategies to follow in the next part. Core concepts of mastery. Mastery is characterized by a holistic grasp of a field, where individuals see both the parts and the whole with clarity. This global vision allows masters to anticipate trends, solve complex problems, and create works that resonate deeply. The fingertip feel emerges from the brain's plasticity, which rewires itself through repeated exposure to a field's nuances. For example, a master chess player instantly recognizes board patterns, or a surgeon senses the right incision point, not through magic, but through internalized experience. Greene emphasizes that mastery requires time, typically 10,000 hours or more of deliberate practice, to achieve this intuitive, rational fusion. This aligns with evolutionary survival, where long-term learning enabled humans to outmaneuver stronger predators. However, modern culture's emphasis on speed and shortcuts undermines this process. Mastery also involves a return to reality, shedding illusions or ego to engage with the world's interconnectedness, from physical systems to social dynamics. Key strategies for attaining mastery. Greene provides 7 strategies to reach mastery. Below, I cover the first 3 with their examples, which focus on environmental connection, leveraging strengths, and transformative practice. 1. Connect to your environment. Primal powers mastery begins with a deep connection to one's environment, physical, social, or intellectual. Greene advises immersing oneself in the field's realities, observing its systems and patterns, as early humans studied nature. This primal engagement fosters intuitive understanding, grounding mastery in reality. Example, Jane Goodall. Primatologist Jane Goodall achieved mastery by living among chimpanzees in Tanzania, observing their behaviors with intense focus. Her immersion in their environment, tracking movements, noting social cues, revealed insights about their emotions and societies, challenging scientific assumptions. Goodall's connection to her environment produced groundbreaking research showing how primal observation fuels mastery. Example, Caroline Islanders. The Caroline Islanders, Pacific navigators, mastered sea travel without instruments, reading stars, waves, and bird patterns. Their intuitive navigation, honed through years of environmental attunement, allowed precise voyages across vast oceans. Their mastery illustrates how connecting to the environment creates intuitive expertise. 2. Play to your strengths, supreme focus. Mastery requires focusing on your unique strengths, those innate or developed abilities that set you apart. Greene advises honing these strengths through practice, using them as a lens to approach problems rather than imitating others' approaches. This focus amplifies impact and intuition. Example, Marcel Proust. novelist Marcel Proust's strength was his acute sensitivity to memory and human behavior. He channeled this into In Search of Lost Time, crafting intricate narratives that captured consciousness's flow. By focusing on his observational gift, Proust created a literary masterpiece, demonstrating how strengths drive mastery. Example, Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin's autism gave her a unique visual thinking ability, which she applied to animal behavior. Focusing on this strength, she designed livestock facilities that reduced animal stress, revolutionizing the industry. Grandin's mastery shows how leveraging personal strengths yields transformative results. 3. Transform yourself through practice. The fingertip feel. The fingertip feel emerges from relentless, deliberate practice that internalizes a field's details. Greene advises practicing beyond competence, pushing into discomfort to rewire the brain for intuitive mastery. This transformative process makes complex tasks feel effortless. Example, Bobby Fischer, chess grandmaster. Bobby Fischer achieved mastery through obsessive study of games, memorizing thousands of positions. His practice went beyond strategy, simulating high-pressure matches to build intuition. This allowed him to anticipate opponents' moves instantly, leading to his world championship. Fischer's transformative practice exemplifies the fingertip feel. Example, Cesar Rodriguez. Air Force pilot Cesar Rodriguez mastered aerial combat through rigorous simulations and real-world missions. His repeated practice internalized flight dynamics and enemy tactics, enabling split-second decisions in dogfights. Rodriguez's fingertip feel, earning him the ace title, shows how practice forges intuitive precision. 4. Internalize the details. Mastery requires absorbing a field's minutiae until they become second nature. Greene advises relentless study of details, techniques, patterns, exceptions, so they are etched into the subconscious, enabling intuitive responses. This deep internalization allows masters to manipulate their field effortlessly. Example, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo's mastery of art and engineering stemmed from obsessively studying details, from muscle anatomy to light refraction. His sketches, filled with precise observations, internalized nature's mechanics, enabling intuitive designs like flying machines and lifelike paintings. Leonardo's detail-oriented approach shows how mastery hinges on subconscious fluency. Example, Freddie Roach. Boxing trainer Freddie Roach memorized fighters' habits, punch angles, and footwork through years of observation. This internalization allowed him to predict opponents' moves instantly, crafting strategies that led to victories for boxers like Manny Pacquiao. Roach's mastery illustrates how details fuel intuitive coaching. 5. Widen your vision. Masters see their field holistically, connecting its parts to broader systems, social, cultural, or natural. Greene advises expanding perspective to understand these interconnections, enabling innovative solutions that resonate beyond the immediate context. Example, Albert Einstein. Einstein's theory of relativity connected physics to cosmic systems, redefining space and time. By widening his vision to include gravitational effects across the universe, he transcended traditional mechanics, achieving a global understanding. Einstein's expansive perspective exemplifies mastery's holistic insight. Example, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Goethe's literary and scientific work linked human emotions to natural phenomena. His studies of botany and color theory informed his poetry, creating works like Faust that captured universal truths. Goethe's wide vision shows how mastery integrates diverse domains. 6. Submit to the other. Mastery involves empathizing with others, audiences, users, or subjects, to understand their needs or perspectives. Greene advises submitting to their reality, designing work that resonates deeply by addressing their experiences or challenges. Example, Daniel Everett, linguist. Daniel Everett mastered the Pirahã language by submitting to their cultural worldview, living as they did and respecting their values. This empathy revealed their language's unique structure, contributing to anthropology. Everett's submission to the Piraha's reality drove his mastery. Example, Temple Grandin revisited. Grandin's livestock facility designs succeeded because she empathized with animals, imagining their sensory experiences. By submitting to their perspective, she created environments that reduce stress, transforming the industry. Grandin's empathy underscores mastery's relational depth. 7. Synthesize all forms of knowledge. Mastery culminates in synthesizing technical, creative, and social knowledge into a cohesive whole. Greene advises integrating insights from diverse sources, science, art, history, to create work that transcends boundaries and redefines the field.
Example, Erwin Rommel.
German General Erwin Rommel mastered military strategy by synthesizing history, tactics, and psychology. Studying past campaigns and soldiers' morale, he devised fluid desert warfare strategies during World War II. Rommel's synthesis made him the Desert Fox, showing mastery's integrative power. Example, Leonardo da Vinci revisited. Leonardo synthesized art, anatomy, engineering, and optics, creating works like the Mona Lisa and visionary inventions. His ability to blend disciplines produced timeless contributions, embodying mastery's synthetic brilliance. Synthesis and broader implications. Chapter 6 presents mastery as the fusion of intuition and rationality achieved through disciplined immersion and expansive thinking. The 7 strategies: environmental connection, leveraging strengths, transformative practice, internalizing details, widening vision, submitting to others, and synthesizing knowledge, form a roadmap to this state. The examples: Goodall, Caroline Islanders, Proust, Granda, Fischer, Rodriguez, Leonardo, Roche, Einstein, Goethe, Everett, and Rommel span primatology, navigation, literature, animal science, chess, aviation, art, boxing, physics, linguistics, and military strategy, illustrating mastery's universal principles. Each figure achieves a fingertip feel, reshaping their field through intuitive precision. Greene's evolutionary lens ties mastery to human survival, where intuitive skills emerged from prolonged engagement with reality. The strategies counter modern tendencies to seek shortcuts or narrow focus, emphasizing time and interconnectedness. This chapter completes the arc from discovering one's calling, Chapter 1, to creative innovation, Chapter 5, showing mastery as a transformative return to reality. By demystifying genius, Greene empowers readers to pursue mastery through dedication, positioning it as both personal fulfillment and a contribution to humanity's progress. Thank you for following this comprehensive summary of mastery by Robert Greene, a roadmap to unlocking your potential through dedication, creativity, and intuitive insight. If you found value in this journey through the principles of mastery, subscribe for more in-depth analyses, insights, and guides to personal growth and achievement. Stay inspired and keep pursuing your life's task.